అమెరికా పర్యటనలో ఉన్న బీఆర్ఎస్ వర్కింగ్ ప్రెసిడెంట్ KTR అక్కడి ఐటీ కంపెనీల యాజమాన్య ప్రతినిధులతో డల్లాస్లో సమావేశమయ్యారు. అమెరికాలో నెలకొన్న ప్రస్తుత పరిస్థితుల మీద స్పందించిన KTR చిన్న మధ్య తరహా ఐటీ కంపెనీలు ఇండియాలో ఆఫ్షోర్ సెంటర్లను ఏర్పాటు చేసేందుకు మంచి అవకాశాలున్నాయన్నారు. 3 ఏళ్లలో తిరిగి అధికారంలోకి వచ్చిన తర్వాత ఐటీ పరిశ్రమను మరింత విస్తృతంగా అభివృద్ధి చేస్తామని KTR భరోసా ఇచ్చారు. కేసీఆర్ నేతృత్వంలోని తమ ప్రభుత్వం తీసుకొచ్చిన ఐటీ అనుబంధ పాలసీలతోనే 9 ఏళ్లలో ఐటీకి హైదరాబాద్ ల్యాండ్ మార్క్ అయిందన్నారు. 2014లో హైదరాబాద్లో కేవలం 3,23,000 ఐటీ ఉద్యోగాలు మాత్రమే ఉంటే తాము అధికారం నుంచి దిగిపోయే నాటికి ఆ సంఖ్య 10 లక్షలకు చేరిందని తెలిపారు. ప్రస్తుత పరిస్థితుల నేపథ్యంలో టెక్ కంపెనీలు ఇండియాలోని టైర్ 2 నగరాలకు ఐటీ పరిశ్రమ విస్తరించేందుకు అనేక అవకాశాలున్నాయని చెప్పారు KTR.
Something that's foremost on everybody's mind right now, something that's possibly right on top of most of your thought processes at this point in time, is what is happening in the US, especially after President Trump has taken charge. I think you're speaking in hushed tones. Most of you are worried. Most of you are probably a bit concerned as to what is likely to happen because, you know, of all the new laws that are being contemplated, especially the immigration policies and how they are going to change over the next few years and how possibly they'll impact business and bottom line across the US, especially in the technology industry. My 2 cents, I'm not an expert of the US legislations or the US government policies here, but I do know that one thing for sure, tough situations, interesting possibilities. And whenever we have run into such situations in the past, the industry and also all of you collectively have always found ways and means to ensure that the industry's growth continues. Because each time we've had a disruption happen, a new legislation, a new policy, or even a new technology that comes into play, you would see lots of consequences which kind of trigger panic once in a while, which kind of trigger some kind of alarming thought processes, etc. The one thing I do believe though is that this is going to create a lot more opportunities back home in India. Now, that may not necessarily be good news for you readily, but I do believe that what the Trump government, the Trump administration here is trying to do is to basically bring back jobs to America. That's what they claim at least. But I do believe sincerely that this might actually create a bigger wave of offshoring and create more jobs in India. There is an opportunity for all of you there as well. I think COVID has shown all of us that geographies don't really matter in getting work done. You could be working from home, and that home could be anywhere. It could be in a remote village in Tamil Nadu. It could be in a remote village somewhere in Bangladesh. Or it could be a remote part of the US where you have your home and you could work right out of home as long as you can have connectivity. COVID has really shown us a mirror. COVID has really shown us a lot of possibilities as well. Even within the support that you've extended, even within the businesses that you've started in India, I think there's a huge chunk of it that can be done by tier 2 towns. That's exactly what we did in the last 10 years. We actually started looking at physical spaces. We set up physical spaces in Telangana in about 10 different tier 2 towns, which is what Anju was talking about. In Khammam, in Mehboob Nagar, in Nalgonda, in Siddipet, in Nizamabad, and the list goes on. In about 10 different places, in Adilabad we started and it's almost up and coming. 10 different places, the government has put in money to set up physical infrastructure to the extent of almost 50 to 75,000 square foot of campus. And we also have a very interesting policy where we actually said the first year is rent free. So anybody who wants to come in and set shop will actually have you can hit the ground running. And basically it's a plug and play kind of a facility where you can come in because all the infrastructure is ready. You can come in, plug in your computer and start working. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm trying to make to you a huge opportunity awaits you in India and tier 2 towns of India. Please consider it because Amazons and Googles of the world are not going there. It is you guys who can go there. It is you guys who can actually create a brand there. The second thing I will tell you also, see, I've traveled the world. I've been to the first world, the US, the UK, Japan, Germany, and all the other, popular Western European countries as well. One thing I do remember, one thing I do believe strongly, is that while India is about 2 to 3 decades behind in terms of infrastructure creation, in terms of uh, general appetite for spending on works that will really create long-term value for the country, the day is not far when we will also have high-speed rails. What that eventually will do is when you have a train running at 200 kilometers per hour, or probably 250 or 300 kilometers per hour, then it does not matter if you live in Hyderabad or Adilabad. You'd probably be living happily in Adilabad in a larger villa, just like the ones you have in Dallas here. A large villa, maybe in a couple of acres, and then continue to commute to Hyderabad within an hour. You can work there, go back home in the evening, enjoy with your family a quality of life. Likewise, I do believe high-speed rail connectivity is going to be one of the biggest investments from the union government's perspective as well over the next 1 to 2 decades. While that happens, please don't, for that to happen, please start building your own story. Please start looking at building your own campuses, your own stories, because investment in infrastructure is something that is imminently going to happen. Whether national government wants it or not, you'll have to invest, because as JFK said very, very popularly, John F. Kennedy had said very, very popularly, and that's a quote I keep recollecting and recalling all the time. America, the United States of America, does not have good highways because it is rich. America is rich because it has invested heavily in having good highways and having great infrastructure. There is no substitute, to growth than investing in infrastructure, and I think that is something all state governments in India, the union government in India also has recognized, and therefore is bound to invest. My appeal to all of you, I know the challenges that you currently are facing. I know that the service levels are going to go down with the kind of restrictions that are being imposed. I know that your bottom line will possibly suffer with the kind of restrictions that are being imposed. I also do know that offshoring might increase because of all the restrictions that are being imposed. I also do know that business will suffer in the short term. Diversity is going to come down in the employee pool. Also, a lot of other possible things that I can't conceptually think of right away might also happen. But therein lies the silver lining. You have something to latch on to back home. And progressive state governments, progressive union governments in India and elsewhere are looking forward to working more closely with you. I do believe that DevOps, I was talking to a couple of my friends last night, most of the programmers are worried that they might lose their jobs. Most of the guys are really worried that upskilling and reskilling might not help them. They're conscious that AI, because I'm sure everybody's watching what Microsoft is doing, what Google is doing, what's happening in the technology world. But every single time we've seen this kind of disruption happen, we've also seen something else happen elsewhere, which creates hope, which creates opportunities. I think one of the opportunities that lies ahead of you, that is there for you to latch on to, is to create huge opportunities in tier 2 towns in India. I may or may not be betting my money on the possibility of tier 2 actually disrupting the way you work in technology world, but I do believe very strongly that the Indian youngsters who are willing to latch on to this opportunity will be more than happy to work with you and to actually grow with you. So thank you very much for this opportunity. Thank you for hosting us. I have fond memories of Dallas from 2015, 2022, fond memories of meeting with all of you. And I do look forward, because I know for a fact that 2.5, 3 years from now, I'll be speaking again to you in Dallas as a minister for technology. Now, that's the sort of vote of confidence I like, because I'm an optimist, a bit of an impatient optimist. I wish the elections were sooner. But anyway, 5 years is what it takes. I'm willing to go through this sabbatical of mine, and I'm willing to look, and I'm looking forward to working with all of you closely. Thank you for your support.